It's Dr. Tony, and I am here today to ask you about the idea that you think if you just had more insert money, time, energy, I would be so happy. Most people would choose money. They say, man, if I just, had my own personal bank, all would be well in the world. If that were true, honestly, there would be a whole lot more happy people in the world. The people with the most money don't seem the happiest, and there's a reason for that. So, I want to talk to you about what's getting in the way, what's blocking most people's joy in everyday society. Okay, because if you really want to be a happier, more fulfilled person, you may want to take some notes. Because there's a lot of rich people who are like miserable people. So if you're watching on replay, let me know. If you have a topic you want me to cover, let me know. I am doing a whole month series of very poignant. Here's what people come to me and ask all the time. So why not share it with the world? All right. So the first way that people are blocked in just their mental energy, they don't exercise enough. Y'all don't exercise enough. And I know there's people who do, but let's just say that's the number one antidepressant that people are not using. And I say that as a physician, a board certified physician who, for years of my life, I would talk to people. I love people. I love being a doctor, but I didn't love the idea that people would come to me with this laundry list of problems and aches and pains. And most of it was just that they weren't taking quality care of themselves. A walk around the block is free, y'all. You know what I mean? You can walk on your lunch break. So exercise, not enough exercise. It seems like a lame ass reason to feel like crap most of the time, right? Let me know if you're tuning in. Let me know if you know you need to exercise more. And if it's working for you, tell us how often you do it. Because I'll tell you what, the endorphins you get if you do it early enough are awesome. So the number one thing that people are not doing enough of is exercising. Can y'all guess what the other one is? Right off the top, when people come in, when I used to be seeing patients every single day, you know what they would come in and tell me all their problems? Guess what they weren't doing? Sleeping. They weren't drinking water, which is another story, but they weren't sleeping. So if you only and can I just give you another biological, biochemical situation that you should look out for? The snooze button is not your friend. When you snooze and then slide back into that sleep cycle, you disrupt it when you have to get up. You break your deep sleep. And that's another way to get sleep inertia. So just know that sleep is important and it's overlooked. And I'm mentioning it because these are things you can fix without like me. You don't need me to fix it, right? So if you're exercising and you're doing all the right things, why are people coming to see me? Because if you don't do the basics, you're not going to want to do the heavy lifting, if you will. So what else is on the menu? Let's talk about money. You know, they've done so many studies on how much money it takes for you to be happy. I think the number for global was around 90,000. For the USA, it was around 70,000 or 60,000 or something. Where when you look at how much money people make, they're not going to be happier after a certain threshold. And over 105,000, nothing changed. And honestly, most of my clients make more than that. So I already know that it's not an automatic ding, happy is on the way. So one of the things that they noticed when they looked closely at people who weren't joyful or weren't feeling joyful was that they weren't focused on experiences. They were focused on acquiring items, products, cars, houses, clothing, you name it. They were not focused on experiences. So all of you folks who are getting picked on social media because you are buying your tickets to this event or that event, and people are like, oh, I wouldn't pay that much. Right. But some of those people are going out and buying items that won't make them happy. So in the end, if you feel euphoric and joyful and happy when you go to concerts, when you feel like, I remember one of my clients went to Coachella and had the most amazing time of her life, right? It was just a once in a lifetime opportunity for her to see her favorite artist. If that's what you want to do with your hard earned money, I'm here for it, because what's the point of having money if you don't have any joy or experiences? I will slide in a bonus and tell you that being mindful in nature is one of those day-to-day experiences that are underutilized and not high yield for people. They think, oh yeah, they take it for granted. But a walk with no destination, checking out the breeze and a nice candle at the end of the day is actually really good for your brain. So if y'all could get a little bit more mindful and take breaks more, I think you'd be all good. You'd be better off. So guess what else? Gratitude. We're on number 5. So we're not going to be here long. Having a gratitude practice, a lot of people skip it. They think, oh, that's just no big deal. But people who experience sitting down and writing down gratitude journals on a regular basis, it doesn't have to be long or drawn out, are much more joyful people. They're much more peaceful. They're much more likely to get more. So I would think that if you don't have a gratitude practice, that's going to be something that you might want to consider, and I've seen it help a lot of people in my world. So I would recommend that you take a closer look at that. And the last but not least, this is the most important in my mind. There's a quote by Viktor Frankl: when a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. Now, why do I mention this? Because I just talked about money versus experiences, right? So you want to do only pleasure. You want to seek out the best, the greatest experiences, but you're not taking time to write them down and show gratitude. You're not taking time to affirm yourself with affirmations, which is something I talked about earlier in the week. I even gave you guys a list of ways to speak over your life, the positivity, and not get caught up in the negative, not get caught up in the grudges and comparison, right? But there are so many people who get stuck at that part of the list and they never make it to the bottom of the list, and that is purpose. If you do not have a strong sense of meaningful work on a day-to-day basis, we spend most of our time at work. And if you don't find that work to be fulfilling and joyful and filling your cup, you dread it. Man, when that alarm goes off, you just can't help yourself but to press snooze. You struggle to get enough rest, as we talked about is important. You struggle because you realize, oh my goodness, I know I should be asleep. You're procrastinating. You know you shouldn't do that either, but you're just so beat down because even if you're pursuing the career you wanted, the life you wanted, you live where you wanted, you had all these ideas. If it's not what you envisioned, it's not feeling like anything fun anymore. If you're starting to feel like you don't have a lot of autonomy at the job, if it's like the grind instead of you just doing the parts you like, that purpose starts to slip away. Okay. So most people come to me, let's run it down again. These are the things that get in the way of happiness. Money, it doesn't do the job. Experiences, absolutely. Affirmations, being able to speak positive over your life, the endorphins from the exercise, the sleep that we all need, the gratitude, writing down what's going well in your life so that something good can come your way. It's like the law of attraction. But when you get to purpose and you don't feel like you're making a difference, you don't feel like you're making an impact, the work that used to be exciting, fulfilling, joyful for you is no longer there. That's how people end up finding me. And one of the things that I posted today was that, people love my career projections. We spend one session just focused on the board. You don't have to prepare for it. But in that session, We make a whiteboard, a clean slate, and dig into what is missing. And we figure out what really makes you tick, what really makes you shine, and what are your gifts that you want to give the world that make you light up. And it's not a fluffy thing. It's a whole patented design, right? It's a whole copywritten process as part of my executive coaching certification. And what I'll tell you is that it has kicked off some really unique experiences and careers for people. One of my clients, she's already a double boarded specialist and all this, but she wasn't getting paid what she was worth. We already fixed that part and got her into a job where she was working from home, making twice as much without all the drama and stuff that she didn't like about the job. But she developed a consultancy based on what we had created on that board and was making $200,000 extra dollars as a side gig. That was remarkable. That was remarkable because she has a family. She has a whole bunch on her plate. And she was like, man, that's one of the most, it was the easiest job for her. It was the quickest, easiest one because it was the one most aligned to who she was. So if you think it has to be hard, if you think it has to be heavy, if you think, oh, I don't have time for that, the grind is why you don't have time. If we create a different future for you that's more aligned with who you are today, not the old you who signed up for whatever. This is the new you. When you do that, you'll be much happier. And you'll also start to feel like you can take the next step and it won't be overwhelming, right? When you know what the next step is, you don't feel so bad that it can take a while to build your dream. So some of my clients are going back to school. I have one who just completed her MBA at Duke Fuqua School of Business, and she's on her way with her business already, but this was the icing on the cake that she wanted to build for her consultancy side. Orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Huff, she was on my platform as a client interview last year. Just check that out on my drtonymd.com page. She was on my Facebook. And I have other clients who decide to go get some certifications. You can get the wrong certification, spend all your time and money, and it is not going to elevate your career. It is not going to get you promoted. It is not necessarily going to make you more money, but just doing something you like but not being compensated for it is unacceptable, ladies. This is so common. You have to work 3 times as hard for half as much. That's not acceptable at your level. So I recommend you guys schedule a session with me. If you want, we can talk about whether or not a career projection would be right for you. I really feel like they kick off a lot of good futures and it gets you excited again about what you want to do. So if you want that and you want that, there's a link inside of the group. But if it's an exclusive for people who are in my community, work-life mastery for high-level professional women. But join the group for sure. But talk to me. We'll decide what's the next best step for you, because if you're not feeling that your purpose and your meaning is in every single day, I get out of bed without an alarm nowadays. I don't even need one. I wake up before the sun rises and I'm raring to go. I'm excited about my life. I'm excited about who I help, because what y'all are doing is so exciting and beautiful and meaningful. And when you have meaningful work and you're surrounded by rock stars who are intelligent, beautiful, kind, giving people every single day, and I get to choose who I work with, man, there's nothing else like it. So I recommend you reevaluate. Of course, do the things that I already mentioned, the sleep and all that good stuff, right? Gratitude journal. Okay, great. These are things that I recommend to all my clients, and I want to help you every day. But I definitely think that we're downplaying what we could be doing if we could just get the weight off our shoulders. It's Dr. Toni, your board certified physician, certified executive coach, who is here to give you one more nudge to build the life you actually want, that you actually work for, that you would actually enjoy. And then you can actually see your family too. You don't want it to be an either or. And that's what some of my clients are struggling with. Dr. Toni MD, drtonymd.com/talk. See you soon. Our next topic, by the way, They wanted to talk this week about several things, imposter and networking. So good things are coming your way.